Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
So we are going to do another talk together, me and Steve. And today we were thinking, is it audio good?
The audio is good.
Today we are thinking about when we kind of cheat ourselves. We turn the back on ourselves just to be accepted. Can you just define this a little bit, clear this what I said, Steve?
Yeah, so I think so. People listening know Pedro and I don't rehearse any of this. This is just a very open, free conversation. So I think what you're talking about, Pedro, is when we don't want to be judged, we don't want to upset somebody, we don't want to disappoint somebody, that we forget who we are and maybe adjust our frequency, our behavior to please that person or that environment. Um, and that puts us out of alignment. Our frequency is out of alignment with who we truly are, who we really want to be, what our passion is. Um, I guess that's what you mean, or was it something different?
No, it was exactly that.
Okay.
It's really something that I think you've been seeing recently, and I also, whether in my life or also in other people's surrounding me. Um, when we try to achieve ourselves through being accepted by others, when it's in a condition or through a job or to whatever, uh, it it put us in a very sad situation because we're turning back on ourselves.
Yeah, we're
It's
out of alignment, aren't we?
we it, sorry, can you say it again?
We're out of alignment.
We are out of alignment with ourselves
Yeah.
because it's being ourselves. It's you finding in the moment, into the expansion of the present moment, and not expecting through anything,
Yeah.
through
And
any
it goes
process.
it goes back to what we talked about on the previous conversations, Pedro, where when you're meditating and using one of those tools, you're able to
Yeah,
align. But when you're living, you lose the alignment. And
exactly.
I think the first step is to recognize that
Exactly.
and appreciate that and be grateful that you now have the level of sensitivity to recognize that difference
Exactly.
and then find a way to be aligned with yourself on a day-to-day basis. And that may cause some rejection from others.
Exactly.
And I guess the question is, if the people around you aren't able to support you in your evolution as a human being, in you being aligned and um, calm and peaceful and having those beautiful emotions, if they can't cope with that, then
If they are not part of that, because they don't even have to do anything, just by being themselves
yeah,
in a effortless way, genuine way, it's where it's where everything will blossom.
absolutely. And if you have a group of people, and we've experienced this many times, if you have a group of people who have a good level of awareness and are working with themselves and staying aligned and not being moved around so much by their environment, then there's a really beautiful thing that happens where everybody's energy starts to flow and you just feel love and connection, and you don't even need to speak. Nothing is said and no one's judging you. And it doesn't matter if you stand up from the table and sit and meditate, or you go in the corner and do your qigong, or you start to chant. Nobody reacts. Nobody really has a problem with it. Whereas in most environments, in most environments, you can't do that. People get offended, and it's. I think the interesting thing is that it's not you. It's your behavior often highlights the damaging behavior that other people are participating in. And that's very scary for people when they see somebody who is very happy and very content and not getting involved with lower frequencies. Suddenly they think, well, what am I doing wrong? Maybe there's something wrong with me, or maybe I need to change. And people are afraid of change, of course.
because of the rejection. Again, because many of us only know themselves through others, through the acceptance of others. And that's really the challenge I see here, and you see here is we get these kind of thoughts sometimes in our minds, sometimes even on a, I think most of the time in a subconscious level, like or I choose myself. If I don't choose them, I will lose myself. And the thing is the opposite way. If you
Yeah,
choose yourself, you win
you
yourself
find yourself.
through
Yeah,
a new family, probably a new set of friends aligned with who you are.
yeah,
But you have to step forward. You need to be brave.
yeah. You need to
And
be brave, and I guess the question is why, why would you not do that?
well, because on unconscious levels, rejection sometimes has to do with death of some of one was put out of a tribe. It's like we are part of a very old story, and in like 500 years, 1,000 years, if you say no to your tribe, you probably be alone with dangerous animals. That means survival. So there's a lot of learning behaviors about being together that are together with survival.
Yeah,
So our instincts of survival is built on being with others, and that's what I see.
yeah. No, absolutely. So
That's what I see.
it's about being strong and
Yeah, face the tiger.
yeah, exactly. And trusting yourself, trusting that you have the ability to be happy and content and live a life that you really enjoy
Yep.
with or without people.
Yep.
And if you can do that and be really honest with yourself, then the time you spend with others, it becomes really a beautiful thing.
Exactly. And Steve, if you'd pick a toolbox to make a project, this project that we are talking about, what would you put there?
That's interesting.
The project of your life. What would you put
So, what would I use to become more resilient and more aligned with myself and less reliant on others? Yeah, I mean, for me, it was a little bit more dramatic because I came and lived on my own in the mountains, and that was, the best tool. And this place where I am at Casa Shen is my teacher,
there? Yeah.
one of my teachers. Um, and it's lonely sometimes, and it's painful sometimes, and but at the end of it, you become so strong, and you become sensitive as well. But for people that can't afford to do that, they can't just walk away from family and friends and work colleagues. It's meditation and honesty, I think, is the biggest tool. The biggest tool. Be honest when you're sitting with a group and you're having a conversation and your mind starts preparing what you're going to say. Yeah,
You're just
why? Everybody is perfect. We don't need to prove anything, but we get involved with this status fight, trying to prove our intelligence, trying to prove that we
that we
have a
deserve.
connection. Yeah, that we deserve love or connection or whatever it is. Um, and it's this layer of noise which is shielding us from our hearts. And when we participate in those activities where we're lower frequency and we're defending, firstly, we're in fight or flight, which is damaging to our system, to our body, causes disease. Um, and
Because we constantly running from the fact of being rejected. That's the thing. That's where the
yeah,
stress comes.
yeah,
That's why we talk when we are not liking the conversation.
yeah. So when you meditate, it's about letting go and it's about finding yourself. And
Remembering.
as we've said before, there's different types of meditation. There's really specific guided meditations that will take you through that process
Yeah.
of reprogramming your mind. Because a lot of this stuff is a learnt behavior. So when you're in a group and everyone starts speaking about a topic that maybe you're not confident about,
Yeah.
instantly you go into fight or flight and you produce those stress hormones.
Sure.
It's in that moment that your awareness is really important, and you just sit with it, sit with that feeling, and ask yourself why. Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel threatened? Why do I feel rejected? Why do I feel stupid? Whatever the feeling might be. And
Why am I turning on my own back by doing something
on
that I
yourself,
actually
yeah,
don't like?
yeah, yeah. And it's sitting and being calm and aligning with your true frequency and just letting the group continue and noticing. That's it. That's like meditation while your eyes are open.
Sure.
And if you can do that with every interaction, things start to change. You don't get as stressed, and then you can start to notice other people's stress. Because when you participate, everyone's the same. There's no
Sure.
difference. So how can you help people? You're on the same level. You're in the same battle. You're too busy, people attacking you. You can't stop and help anybody. But when you I have a picture of like samurais in my head now. When you're calm and everybody's fighting around you, trying to prove themselves and trying to gain some recognition, and when you are calm, you can see what's happening and be very, very still. And then later on, maybe you can help those people. But
You already are helping by being the
yeah,
truth, by being yourself.
yeah,
That's how you reinforce the truth and not reinforce the fake you.
yeah. And it's frequency, isn't it? If you participate, then you're going to bring the frequency of the group down. If you don't, maybe move to your heart and love what's happening and appreciate what's happening, because you're going to learn something. Any second now, you're going to learn something. At the moment, it feels uncomfortable and you're like, whoa, I feel stupid, or I feel resentment, or I don't feel included, whatever emotion it might be. But if you just sit with it and sit with it and sit with it, any second now, you're going to learn something.
And you will shift it by connecting with it.
Yeah. And it
That's
doesn't need to be that you just reject people and walk away and go find another group. That will happen
natural.
organically, yeah, naturally.
Exactly. That's the next time you receive a conversation, invitation. If it doesn't feel right, you just say, "Hey, sorry, I don't want to go this time," or I want to do something else.
Yeah.
Or I'm not
We
feeling
do
like going.
so many things. We do so many things out of obligation.
Yeah.
And we're so worried about people saying, Pedro, he's not coming, he's not included, he doesn't understand us, or whatever, whatever
Yes.
words people use. We're so worried about that we give up ourself, our true self. And there's no progress there. There's no joy there.
Compassion.
Yeah. When
Love.
people start to really accept you, the real you, and don't forget, you don't know what the real you is yet. So there's two things happening. You have the group hopefully being understanding and accepting whatever changes you make, and you've got you working out who am I? That's a project in itself. So definitely meditation, honesty, and yeah, trying and awareness, and doing the same process you do when you meditate while you're in the group.
Yeah,
And
never forget that meditation is not the process, is what happens in it. Is everything that is not you will be put it out, and what remains is you. That's when you find the silence, when you feel the awareness being who you are, and what arises with it, the peace, love, connection. They come all from you being yourself.
Yeah. And I think accepting who we've been and who we are is really important, because none of us want to admit to the things we don't like about ourselves. That's a difficult thing to do, but that's part of the process.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no truth in it, and you can end up creating a new version that's still not aligned.
Yeah. I think this can be the second topic, is meditating. Are you hearing still good, Steve?
Yeah.
So in meditate, this is very important, because working with students that meditate with me in my classes through Qigong normally, which is meditation in movement. It's normal. I have many students that went out of the classes during the years. But normally they went to a place in the beginning where they had to face all the things that were there, all the fake identities.
Say that again, Pedro. You broke up. They had what?
They had to face the fake identities.
Yeah.
And when that happened, it's a huge stress. I passed through that. See many. I still see them sometimes. The fake identities, which are afraid of dying, which are afraid of being lost, rejected. But it's part of the journey, and if you endure that, if you commit yourself to the truth, to who you are, with time, those will let go. They will you'll simply realize who you are, and those fake identities will just disappear.
Yeah. And when you do that, the things that you do will become much more, it'll become much more obvious
Yeah.
what you need to be doing with your life,
Yeah.
what's aligned with you.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, it's a big journey though. It's not something small.
I think
It's
it's a big journey, and for example, and I also want to say something because I the thing that, for example, distanced me from some students I had was the commitment and the work, and
Yeah,
here
I've had the
this is
same experience.
and in here I think it's very important to say meditation it's not the doing. However, for a busy mind, for attached mind, it can be heavy, it can be exhausting
Yeah.
in the beginning, in the first years. But I can say if you're not the person that discover, oh, it's amazing to write and I just lost myself there, and that's your meditation. Do it, enjoy it, because you find a way to meditate that is like a path of honesty in itself. But you did find the painting, the engineering, what really resonates with you, what makes your mind focus naturally, that passion, then meditation is amazing.
Yeah.
And I can say, for example, um, I saw students just leaving the classes, leaving the work, the gradual work of remembering, and really uh, downsizing themselves to a very low frequency life.
Yeah, it's absolutely possible to meditate on a regular basis, to practice yoga, qigong, whatever, and simply not open up yourself to change. The same
It's
way it's very easy to sit on YouTube all day and listen to spiritual teachings like this one, or you know, there's so much content out there.
Yeah,
It's very easy to do that but not make any actual changes because your ego is saying, well, why should I change? Everything's cool. I'm fine. Um, and for me personally, I think it's like when you're learning martial arts. So if I compare it to a Japanese karate, which is what I used to teach and still do sometimes when people come here. In Japan, when you start karate, you have a white belt. The only reason you end up with a black belt is because you spend so many hours training and it gets dirty.
yes.
Yeah,
I was thinking of that actually. I
yeah.
was thinking.
So when the Japanese came to the West, the English and the Germans and you know all of the guys that were running the sports halls and the clubs were like, no, 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 we need colors, we need something to achieve. So you have all of these different colors: red, yellow, orange, brown, purple, and it's like this
Like in June.
whole, yeah. And you can be a black belt, and I've met these people and I've trained with them and I've taught them and have zero knowledge of how your body works, but you have a black belt. And the people that have a black belt and don't really know what karate is or what martial arts really is about, they know deep down that it's just like a certificate, if you like. Um, and for me, I would rather somebody practice punching for 6 months, but do it every day, than practice all of these amazing kata and forms and jumping in the air and spinning around and not really be in the movement or be aware of themselves or their energy, their presence, you know, all of these different things. So it's a little bit, we've been taught by society to bombard ourselves with lots of different things. And it's much better to strip that away, do one thing, but do it consistently. And if that's 10 minutes meditation in the morning and 10 minutes meditation at night, as long as it's honest and it's true, then do that. But if you're doing lots of different things and you don't feel like you are changing or you are aligning with your true self, then even those activities can be reinforcing that, the wrong behavior.
Absolutely, they come from a bad
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah. So it's
So
difficult because society is giving us so much entertainment.
yeah.
So
So how would you do? So I think we should also reinforce how can we do it if we are if you are living in a city, which most of us are, and it's a crowded city, it has a lot of things. If you're living in stress, if you're living in anxiety, what can you do? What would you recommend, Steve?
um okay, so the first thing is really to be aware of what your body's doing and to notice what stress means to you. So in my case, before I started this journey, I worked in an office. I ran my own business. I had lots of money issues I had to deal with, and bank accounts, and clients, and people working for me, and a lot of things going on. But the main stress was my um, feeling like I was not enough.
Yes.
That was the main stress. It wasn't running the business. It was this battle to prove myself. So that's one thing to watch out for is why are you doing the work? Why are you pushing yourself to do these
Is
things?
it passion?
Yeah,
Is it what you said?
yeah. If you're just fueling a materialistic lifestyle because you have believed what society has taught us, which is the more you own, the better you are, then that's something to self-inquire, something to have a conversation with yourself about. Why do I need a new car? Why do I need new clothes? Why do I need these things? What is the real reason? Because we
Yeah.
can lie to ourselves and say, oh, well, my clothes are worn. If they have holes in and they're hanging off you and you can't get them clean anymore, maybe. But apart from that, we don't need clothes. The ones we have are fine. So it's all of these self-inquiries. Why am I going online? Like for me, I used to work really, really hard, and then the harder I worked, the more toys I would buy, the more extreme sports I would do. It was
The more
like,
you spend.
yeah, it was like a reward. It doesn't help. I can tell anybody that's watching that it doesn't help. I had a lot of stuff. Doesn't help. Now I live somewhere where I have, well, when I came here 2 years ago, as you know, I had nothing. Much happier, much happier.
So what I think is what I realized from what you're saying is the first thing you must to make a change, you must realize that something is not okay. By that awareness within your body that tells you you're in stress. There's some thoughts that are putting you constantly in a painful situations, and that's maybe the fuel or the start point for change.
Yeah. So
And
notice your body when you're in a stressful situation. Do you get hot? That's fight or flight, and the fight or flight state shuts down all of the body repairing and replenishing, and it causes cell mutation, it causes disease. That's been proven. You can find that there's
yeah,
plenty of science to support that. So
yeah,
you can be vegan, you can work outside, you can be barefoot all the
no,
time, you can do yoga 3 times a week, you can do all of those things
I have these cases. I know these students that happen exactly that.
But if you're in fight or flight, you know, you may as well go to McDonald's for every meal, because you're not healthy. You're killing yourself with that fight or flight. It's undoing all of the supplements, the vitamins, the, you know, the special water that you drink, everything you can think of. The
Yeah.
stress hormones undoes everything.
It's saying, the fight or flight is saying you're not enough, so you have to run or you have to fight.
Yeah. And it
So
shuts down everything, shuts down every system in your body except for, you know, parts of your brain that will allow you to be very alert, and your muscles. Everything
yeah, because
else
it's
shuts down.
saying that you're not enough. So if you're not enough, that printing will manifest in your body and in
Yeah.
your cells and in your healthy and in your relationships and in your work. Not being enough or not being capable or whatever. When it's negative, it's gonna imprint within you.
Yeah.
So it's gonna manifest.
Yeah. And when you talk about manifesting, you're actually creating connections between the neurons in the brain, and you're creating a behavior. And that behavior, if you do it enough times, that becomes who you are. That becomes how you respond. You know, people who
Yeah.
react instantly and become angry very quickly, they've learned to do that. Now, the good news is that that set of neurons that are all connected together, you can break them. You can break the connections and you can move them to another set of connections, which is
Connection.
peace, calm. I am enough. I'll do this job tomorrow. You know, it's
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. I know I'm gonna make it easy,
yeah,
but it's
yeah,
not going to be today because I'm already tired. So that's you
exactly.
reinforcing that you deserve. You deserve to be okay.
Yeah. Or I've had enough stress for today. You know,
I have enough stuff.
we
Yeah.
can't switch stress off because
Yeah.
and it's the sensitivity for stress will start up here. So you will start with, oh yeah, I'm really hot,
In
and I
the bad
feel,
way.
yeah,
In
and
the
I feel anxious, and yeah, that's like high level. And then once you've dealt with that and you brought it down, you'll notice that there is also an addiction to stress, which actually motivates us. Now, you know, that's more, you have to be more sensitive to find that. So the first thing is awareness, admitting that change is needed,
yeah.
and then
Then
make that commitment to
then
change.
yeah. Yeah. Then when you make the commitment, I think this is very important. When you make a commitment, you should look to examples that work. Look to people that made the change and ask them. And don't follow them necessarily. Just
No,
try to understand what was there, the roots of that change. I one of the things that I've done this time were the people that I felt the changes, and I still feel the changes because I still feel, and they don't necessarily do meditation. Sometimes they don't do because they are already very aligned. They are constantly reinforcing the truth about themselves in the practical of living in this planet in a way that they love. But see them. I saw them in painters. I saw them in sculptures. I saw them in people who love their job and who their job, for example, was not working. It was just passion. They were constantly being honest with themselves. I saw them in meditation, also in people who were working in meditation areas. Um, but if you're making, once again, if you're making that change and if you're choosing, okay, I don't know what I want in terms of life. For example, I don't know what I'm good, what I am passionate about, which was my case. I didn't know that. And I didn't have also the emotional and the physical structure to switch to something I'd love because I was not worthy my head. So I had to make it in. I had to make. I had to remember who I was, and then start. My life started to change. My friends started to change. My work started to change, but I had to commit and be be with it.
Yeah.
For example, and I recently I stayed a long time not meditation because I was um I was checking how was to just being myself. I'm already doing what I love, so finding that love in my life. And what I realized is it's not easy. Even like I do this at 12 years or something, or 13 years, and still I started to realize that the downs I was having emotionally towards my life challenges were started to get longer. So I was starting to feel dumped within emotions. So I decided, okay, if I'm not evolved spiritually enough, I will maintain my workouts. I will do my cleaning every day, my remembering every day, so that my life would get easily in tune, and I will get the ladder to the highest place, which is myself. So that commitment is very important. And if you realize, okay, I'm meditating 15 minutes, I'm still the same. Man, I'm stressed.
Hold on, Pedro. We can't hear you because of the wind. Just hold on 1 second.
Can you hear it now?
Just let that
Yeah.
gust of wind go through. Okay.
Okay.
Go again.
So if you're meditating 15 minutes a day, and if you think that it's not enough, uh, work yourself out to get to an hour and see what happens.
Yeah.
And
Or
if it's
even
not,
even 20 minutes or
yes, of course, get to the 20 minutes first and very slowly. Otherwise, you're just
yeah.
constantly in stress.
And
It
don't
is
expect
painful.
anything. That's the other thing. Don't expect anything from the meditation. Um, we've been taught that when you put some effort into something, you get a reward.
and
That's
and the stress and the stress, and
yeah.
that's where the stress comes in
Like
meditation also.
if I think about like my business life when I was on LinkedIn and connected to all these people, all very in stressful jobs, and just taking a moment and walking away from the desk, going outside maybe, take your shoes and socks off, stand on the ground, let the energy come out of your
Comes
body,
up.
do some deep breathing exercises. It'll take like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or even to do it at your desk. Um, to notice your breath, because the way the brain works is it's looking at the body. We think the brain is independent. It's not. It's looking at the body. And if you're like this and you're stressed, and the brain goes, "Oh, you must be stressed. I'll produce more stress hormones." And you carry on getting tense and tense and tense, and then, "Oh, you're still stressed. I'll carry on." Whereas if you just go, "Oh," your brain goes, "Oh, you're not as stressed now. We'll reduce it." So being aware of your physical body, I mean,
That's the
as well as your frequency, but not everybody can feel what their frequency is doing. That comes later. Um, and trust as well. This is the thing, because a lot of this to people that are really at the beginning of their journey, a lot of this sounds really difficult. Like meditating for an hour. When I say some of my meditations are more than an hour, people like, "Oh my God." So that sort of thing that frightens people. But the thing to remember is if you're
that
able to change your frequency by 1%, your life changes, because what you receive in your life will change. And if you can change it by 10%, you'll really notice a difference. And then if you can really move into a higher frequency, you're going to notice that you're always supported. The universe will always support you in whatever you're doing.
It's like as a problem or a challenge comes, you just, well, you don't attach.
Yeah.
It's not going to do nothing to me. I will not be afraid of it. I will always be okay.
Yeah.
That's what happens. It's like
it's
you
easier,
slip through the things.
it's easier to say than to do.
But it's
It is
it
the truth.
happens to me. It happens to me all the time. When
Yeah,
someone tells me, "Oh, this is going to do this, otherwise this is going to happen," no, sorry, I will not grab that.
yeah,
I will not do something I don't like just to receive a poison present.
yeah, or to avoid an imaginary outcome.
I will not slip into that. That's
And it,
reinforcing the not deserving behavior, which is connecting with you doing something that you don't like, being fake within yourself, and so and so.
yeah, so that
Uh,
goes right the way back to the beginning
to the
about
beginning. Exactly.
being authentic,
Yeah,
noticing
that's
your frequency, um, and
so we basically have saying, being the truth, reinforcing the truth within you. So if you're not liking something, just change it, go to a different place, do something different that you like more, and that's how you push. You is it push? Say
pull,
you push, like you push.
pull,
You
pull.
pull. So I always mix this. So this is how you pull the passion in your life, and you allow that the meditation will be something natural, because you'll be natural meditative if you love to be in the place you are.
Yeah,
And if you, yeah, this
yeah,
will
and
happen naturally.
yeah, and you're right. Meditation is not just sitting with your legs crossed with a sore back,
No,
wondering how long is this going to last for. It's what you do when your eyes are open, because your eyes are open more times than they're closed. When you go to
exactly.
sleep, you don't worry about anything. You know,
Exactly.
we're stressed all day. We're trying to control our lives, and we're like, we want this person to behave this way. We want this person to behave that way. We want this thing to happen in this way. You have all of these preferences about how your life should be. And then at night, you go, oh, I don't care now. I'm going to go to sleep.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense. Brilliant.
So I think for today, um, we have to stay here. And I also, if you, the ones who see this, if you like to dive on different direction, or you have personal things that you want to discuss and bring to the channel, just say in the comments, um, so that we can, yeah, give it a go.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. And we can hopefully give people some different things to think about. Thank you,
So I
Pedro.
love you all. I hope you're having an amazing day, and you'll have an amazing day. And a big hug to you, Steve.
Thank you. And to you.
Thank you.
And to everybody else, like you say, have an amazing day, and yeah, just be kind to yourselves.
Bye bye.